And I know that this is the last time, but I just can't let you go now. I walked 40 miles through the burning sun just to see the
She stood barefoot under the glare of the stage lights, her clothes tattered, her guitar worn and cracked like her story. The hall was silent, cameras rolling, judges staring. And then she whispered, trembling, almost afraid to exist, "If I sing well, will you give me food?" A single question that froze the crowd, a question no one expected to hear on a talent show stage. People thought it was a gimmick, a setup for sympathy, until she began to sing. And within seconds, every doubt vanished, every heart in that room cracked open. But what happened next, no one saw coming. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the beauty of unseen souls, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your one click can help more stories like this reach the world. Her name was Marla, a 16-year-old girl from the forgotten corners of the city, the kind of places where dreams die quietly, and no one bothers to write obituaries for hope. She had lived most of her life on the streets, scrounging for scraps behind bakeries, sleeping under bridges, and watching life pass her by through fogged bus windows. Her only companion was an old, half-broken guitar she found in a dumpster 2 years ago, a guitar that, somehow, still produced sound when she strummed it gently. It wasn't just wood and strings to her. It was the only thing that ever listened when the world turned away. Every day, Marla would sit at a busy corner near the metro station, her voice soft and haunting, echoing between concrete walls. People passed, sometimes dropping a coin, sometimes just a glance. But most days, she sang for nothing, except the warmth of her own breath and the comfort of sound. One day, as she played, a man in a production jacket stopped. He was part of a crew scouting for unique talent for a televised talent show. They wanted stories, and Marla looked like one. When they approached her, she thought it was a cruel joke. But it wasn't. For the first time in her life, someone asked her to perform somewhere inside, under lights instead of lampposts. She didn't ask for money, or clothes, or even fame. She only asked, quietly, "If I sing well, will you give me food?" On the day of her audition, Marla arrived wearing the same torn shirt she'd worn for weeks. She was thin, frail, her eyes holding both fear and fierce determination. Backstage, contestants with styled hair and polished shoes stared, whispering, wondering if she was lost. But she wasn't lost. She was exactly where fate wanted her to be. When her turn came, she stepped onto the stage, gripping her guitar like a lifeline. One of the judges, a woman known for her sharp critiques, asked her name. Marla hesitated, as if she'd forgotten it mattered. The audience chuckled softly, but not cruelly, just awkwardly. Then came her question, "If I sing well, will you give me food?" The words hung heavy. The room went still. Even the cameras paused in their quiet hum. Then she began to sing. Her voice, it wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect. But it was raw, trembling, soaked in truth. Every note told a story, of cold nights, of hunger, of a little girl watching rain drip through a cracked ceiling while dreaming of warmth. The melody rose and fell like waves, and before long, people were wiping tears. The judges, known for breaking hearts with criticism, sat frozen. The woman judge had her hand over her chest, one of the men leaned forward, jaw tight, eyes glistening. By the time Marla finished, the room was drenched in silence, not the cold kind, but the kind that means everyone feels something they can't describe. Then came a standing ovation. The crowd erupted, clapping, cheering, chanting her name. Marla stood there, wide-eyed, not knowing how to react. She smiled timidly, the kind of smile that only appears when someone hasn't smiled in a long time. One of the judges walked to her and gently handed her something, not a trophy, not a contract, but a sandwich. She took it with trembling hands and whispered, "Thank you." Cameras caught that moment, but it wasn't staged. It was real, heartbreakingly real. Overnight, her clip went viral. The hungry girl who sang became the headline everywhere. Millions watched her voice pierce through the noise of the internet, breaking algorithms with honesty. Donations poured in. The show's producers brought her back for another episode, this time with a new dress and proper shoes. But Marla didn't care about the glamour. She cared about something else, singing for those who were still hungry, still unheard. Weeks passed, and her life began to change. She was given shelter by a local charity. People sent her guitars, clothes, letters. Yet, even as fame began to brush her story, she remained the same, humble, grateful, often sitting outside her shelter at night, playing softly for the stars. She once told a reporter, "I used to sing to survive. Now I sing to remind people that hunger has a voice." That line would later be printed on posters, shared thousands of times, etched in the hearts of those who believed kindness still existed. But the real turning point came during the show's finale. The judges brought back past contestants to perform together. When Marla stepped on stage that night, wearing a simple white dress and holding her old, repaired guitar, the crowd erupted again. She performed an original song titled, "Home Isn't a Place." It was about finding belonging in people, not walls. Halfway through her performance, one of the judges joined her on stage, holding a tray of food, not as charity, but as a symbol. He placed it next to her, and she smiled, finishing her song through tears. That image went viral again, a simple act, but one that spoke louder than any trophy. When the final results came, she didn't win first place. But she won something far greater, the hearts of millions. Restaurants offered to feed her for life. A music school granted her a full scholarship. And for the first time ever, Marla had a home. She said in her final interview, that night, "I didn't just get food. I got a reason to keep living." If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Stories like Marla's remind us that one small act of kindness can change a life forever. Before you go, we'd love to hear from you. Comment below with the words, "Kindness lives on," if you believe that no dream is too small, and no person too forgotten, to deserve hope.